Okay, so here's our second study skills session together. I'm gonna go over a module with you called SQ3R.
What does SQ3R stand for?
It sounds weird, doesn't it? It stands for Survey, Questions, Read, Recite, and Review.
Okay. Recite, review.
Yeah, 3 R's.
Three
Reading,
Rs.
writing, arithmetic, except they all start with an R. Thank you very much. That's always really nice. So we always start at the beginning. What's survey really mean? Survey is talking about your textbook. You're going to open it, but instead of reading it from start to finish like you open a normal book, you're going to actually take it and basically skim reading it, starting with some super important parts like the introduction.
Okay. So the introduction and like headings and like section titles and stuff like that?
Absolutely, yes. So, and I don't know about you, but for me, like when I read a book, I've always skipped the introduction. Do you do that all the time?
All the time, yeah.
Well, here, it's really not a good idea, because the introduction can actually be super helpful for you.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so that's surveying.
So let's just go through it real quick and kind of get a general idea of what's in there.
Absolutely. So you're not running a marathon here, you're running a sprinting race.
Okay, cool. So we're Q? What's Q?
Q means questions. Do you remember when we took our Cornell notes together?
Yeah.
On the right, you took actual notes, and on the left, you asked questions. You're basically going to do the same here. Let's ask your textbook some questions about what you're reading.
Do I have to do Cornell notes for this?
No.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. You don't have to use Cornell notes for this. You have to. You need to be formulating questions before you go into the material. So you've surveyed your book. You've got a general synopsis of what in the universe is going on in this textbook. Now you're going to go in and be like, I remember skimming a little section about mitochondria. I have absolutely no idea what that means. Let's go in and actually read about it. So in your brain you're saying, what is mitochondria? Let's find out.
Okay, cool. So go in looking for specific things.
Yes.
Nice. All right.
So they also give a great example here of some questions you can ask. Look at that, even is in Cornell note format.
Wow, look at that.
If you remember annotating as well that we've worked on, this can also be a great way to annotate and start writing in your textbook.
Nice.
And then the next step is reading. This is the part that usually students put first. They say, oh yeah, I'm going to start beginning, skip the table of contents, skip the cool information that you can get out of that.
Yeah.
And let's just start at chapter 1, everybody.
Okay.
So, they skip 2 important parts. So the book is, of course, meant to be read, but this is where you're getting the details. If you start with the details, you're not going to get the big picture, and the big picture can be incredibly important down the road.
Makes sense. So this is what I'm actually doing front to back, just reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Absolutely. So, and then you're going to go through it, but not just reading it to have fun, because, this is a textbook, not like I want you to be bored out of your skull, but you need to be reading actively.
Okay.
Remembering your questions that you've asked in your textbook previously, you're going to be looking for those, noting important terms, vocabulary that comes up, defining mitochondria, figuring it out. Reading the graphics, tables, illustrations, all those little things alongside, little notations alongside of your textbook, those can be helpful as you're going through.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Fantastic. Okay. And then, reciting. We are not going to have you stand up in the middle of class and yell, Mary had a little lamb.
I don't have to sing?
No, you don't have to sing.
Yeah.
It is basically talking to your textbook, but you're going to be writing.
Okay.
You're going to be it's basically note-taking for the first time as you're going through your textbook.
Oh, okay, so it's reciting, like copying things out onto my own paper, or generally my own words.
Yes,
Oh, neat.
absolutely.
Cool.
So in your own words, you're going to write out some key ideas, be taking note of the learning styles, whether you're visual or auditory, kinesthetic. Make sure that that is something that you're paying attention to. And you can also draw like pictures and rough maps if you want to remember what a cell looks like. That can be super awesome. And in order to know when you're done reading and reciting to move on to the next step, make sure that you can paraphrase what you've just read. If not, I recommend putting gummy bears on your page. I've heard that's extremely helpful. Have you ever done that?
I've not. No.
So basically, when you're reading through the material, once you get to spot A, wherever you're reading, you can pick up the gummy bear and eat it.
Wow.
So it can be motivating just to have a small reward like that.
Very Hansel and Gretel.
Oh yeah, especially for a kinesthetic person. I picked the red gummy bear up when I started reading about mitosis. And sometimes even just that little bit of color reference can help.
Yeah.
As well as taking notes in color. Sometimes that helps people as well. Okay, and then the fifth and final part is review. The final R, the second stage of note taking. So this one, some people are like, oh, I gotta be a super advanced reader right now. No, that's not what it means. You're going to apply all this information you just learned to your everyday life. And so this is where you're going to create your formal notes, your flashcards, Quizlet. If you've used Quizlet before, I hope you have.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it can be incredibly helpful. And then use an outline or a map. And then you're going to go on from there. This is where you're actually going to head into lecture and use these notes that you just taken from your textbook.
Cool.
And come up with questions to get answered in class. That can be super awesome. So that is the ideal SQ3R process.
Alright.
So here, I used examples from a student's everyday life to help him relate to this module that I was going through with him, starting from what he knew and helping him to grow and expand his knowledge, as well as working in overall growth mindset.
Wow.